Sorry guys, a little bit late on my D&D weekly update. It's going to be covering the past 2 weeks, so there's a lot of interesting articles came out, some cool videos, and a couple of interesting merchandise options that you may not be aware of. So anyway, stay tuned if you want to find out more information about that. Alright, so I'm gonna jump right in. And when Art Arcana came out, again, it's a little while ago. By the time you guys are gonna be seeing this, there'll have been another one, and possibly even another one still. But Warlock and Wizard on Art Arcana came out on the 13th. I did a review on it. Pretty cool stuff. The Warlock got a lot of love and needed new invocations, and the Wizard one is borderline OP, but has some cool concepts that you could also make for role playing. So. There's a dice camera action Reddit. I only bring this up because they posted back on the 14th, I think, because it was Valentine's Day. They weren't recording, or maybe that was because of President's Day. Either way, they just wanted to make sure you guys know, hey, there's a dice camera action Reddit. Again, because we missed Valentine's Day, there's a couple of Valentines here. Be mine, you know, Yuan T it. You know, Yuan T. Yuan T. I don't know. I don't particularly. I think whatever. I think mine was better, but either way, there you go. So Valentines. Okay, so this is a little bit longer than I was anticipating doing in this video, but I think I'll just kind of glance over it. So this happens every so often. They've done this once before in the past, where there's sort of a Magic the Gathering. I'm going to be completely honest, I'm very not well versed in Magic. I've played a couple of times in the past, but there's this Plane Shift Kaladesh, which I guess is sort of a setting for Magic the Gathering. Again, sorry, I'm just not well versed in it, but they did take that and kind of start converting stuff to allow that Kaladesh setting to be compatible with Dungeons & Dragons. Now, I'm going to be able to talk to this more from a Dungeons & Dragons standpoint than a Magic standpoint, clearly. And I'm just going to kind of glance over this, but they sort of show you, like, if you want to play in this world, here's some ways you can tweak existing stuff. But there's an entirely new sorcerer archetype just embedded in here. So let's take a look. So, again, introduction, how this is going to work. And then we have the world of Kaladesh. So it's going to give you some background information on the world and the cities, and kind of give you some stuff to set up your own campaign here, and some pretty cool art. So it tells you a little bit about the various backgrounds and how those will be kind of tweaked and altered to fit into the Kaladesh campaign. How the various classes work. You know, the barbarians, bards, and so on. The way invention and magic is altered, and then again, not going crazy with new stuff, but giving you options to reskin and reflavor existing classes to fit into the world. However, we do get a new sorceress origin, the Pyromancer, and I thought this one was actually pretty cool. So, first level, Heart of Fire. Whenever you start casting a spell of first level or higher that deals fire damage, fiery magic erupts from you. This eruption causes creatures of your choice, which is nice, that you can see within 10 feet to take fire damage equal to half your sorcerer level. Whenever first level or higher. So, not unreasonable, especially given the amount of fire spells on the sorcerer list. At 6th level, you get resistance to fire damage. In addition, your spells ignore resistance to fire damage, which is very nice, almost making the elemental adept feat not needed to be taken. At 14, when you're hit by a melee attack, you can use your reaction to deal fire damage to the attacker. The damage equals your sorcerer level, and it ignores resistance to fire damage. So that's at minimum 14 points of damage, and that's as a reaction when you're hit by a melee attack, and that is unlimited use, so that's pretty solid. Not that you want to be getting hit too much in melee as a sorcerer, but still a solid feature. And then lastly, at 18, you get Fiery Soul, immunity to fire damage. In addition, any spell or effect that you create ignores resistance to fire damage and treats immunity to fire damage as resistance to fire damage. I've seen a lot of similar things like this done in homebrew, but this is, again, one of the more official ones you're going to get, because this is published by Wizards, so... And then there's a section here on Aether-powered devices, because it looks like there's a fairly big steampunk functionality to this world. How magic item charges work, consumables, and how attunement works. How attunement is different with Aether-powered devices. And then stuff on planar travel, conjuring creatures, cursed items, sentient items. Some more in-depth information about inventing and manufacturing your own items. Again, this is specific to this campaign, but you may be able to pull some of the information from here and add this and use this into your own campaign. It talks about schematics or plans, which is a function of creating and crafting a magic item contained within the Dungeon Master Guide. But it sets some DCs and some Arcana checks, and then about going and buying and selling them. Again, a little bit of information in the Dungeon Master Guide. This expands on it a little bit. Again, specific to this campaign, but you may find something you need here where you want to tweak this. The device purchased in a legal market, 70 to 120% of the cost to create. Character who invents and manufactures a device can sell it for 150 to 200%. There's some stuff here for automatons and vehicles. And then there are new feats tied specifically to the campaign. We have quicksmithing, servo crafting, 2 new feats that'll fit, and this one's kind of more about a find familiar. And this quicksmithing essentially seems to give you sort of the rock gnome's ability to tinker and make the clockwork toy, music box, or fire starter. And then some ideas for creating your own campaign. And then here are the races. There are no new... Oh, there is a new race, the Aetherborn race. I guess I must have missed this. Charisma score goes up by 1. 2 other ability scores go up by 1, similar to your human. To your half-elf. Dark vision, resistance to necrotic damage, proficiency in intimidation, 2 languages. The dwarves, basically, I think they use kind of a mixture of the 2 dwarves. So con and wisdom, like a hill dwarf. Dark vision, dwarven resilience, which is normal. Dwarven toughness, which is again from a hill dwarf. And then artisan's expertise is proficiency in 2 kinds of artisan's tools of your choice. And these are, again, that give you some more flavor to tie it specifically to this campaign. Elves look like they are wood elves. Pretty much through and through. Although, they basically use the wood elf stats. They give you the elf weapon training, and then the 2 subclasses. It's plus 2 dex, plus 1 wisdom, and then the 2 sub races are sort of a mixture of. This is their kind of the remainder of the wood elf, the fleet of foot, and mask of the wild, and then the high elf. A cantrip, but it uses wisdom, so that's pretty cool, and then an extra language. Humans, doesn't look like there is a variant human, you just get straight +1 all ability scores. And then the Vidalkin, which I'm guessing is this right here, +2 intelligence, +1 wisdom, sort of, I guess they're kind of the gnome is what I'm gathering. Advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saves tied to magic. Whenever you make a history check related to magic or aether-powered devices, get expertise on the history check, and then the Kaladesh bestiary, where we have a couple of new creatures. We have these gremlins here, which are little beasts, and then demons, angels. We have a sky leviathan, which is basically like a giant kind of sky whale, which is a beast. Stats for it here. Drakes, dragons, giants, hydras, worms, hellions, and again it'll show you like a hellion should use a Remoraz stat. Artifact creatures, we have the servo here, and then that's about it. The rest they have stats for. So that's pretty much it for the Kaladesh stuff. This probably could have warranted its own video, but again, I just wanted to glance through it pretty quickly. Tanya Depass was on Dragontalk on the 16th. and she's just there talking about creating D&D characters, and she brings her experience in talking about diversity in gaming to creating D&D characters and her shared love of Dragon Age 2. Again, like I said, we have this awesome new update to these, something so simple, but to the website, where it's going to show you skip ahead points, and then some more information about the special guest, and then info about the hosts. Very cool. Assault on the Giants is the newest D&D. There's actually a lot of board game news this week. So this is the newest D&D board game. This one is sort of the the Storm King's Thunder version. We've had Wrath of Ashardalon in the past, Adventure Castle Ravenloft. These are kind of some older games. There was a Tyrants of the Underdark was the more recent one, and now we have Assault on the Giants. These are expensive. They are out now. There is the standard edition, which includes 12 miniatures, injected in molded in color, measuring 60 millimeters to over 90 millimeters, and 3 giant slayers. The premium edition includes fully painted miniatures, so that's a fairly substantial difference in price, if I recall, as well. The mass combat article, you guys will have seen that by now. I did a review on this again, dealing with large-scale battles in your D&D campaign. And then we have here another Forbes article. This is on inspiring an entire culture with the art of Dungeons and Dragons. So there's a video here. I'm not a huge fan of the Forbes website, though. So there'll be a link in the description if you want to check this out more specifically. Another new game, Rock, Paper, Wizard. Cast spells and compete against other wizards in an epic race for loot. Rock, Paper, Wizard is an exciting party game for 3-6 players. That actually is out, but I didn't realize that it was out. It seemed like I just started hearing about it, though, more recently. $20. I think you can go ahead and pick it up right now. And it kind of, I think I did talk about this once before, is it's a cool way to show some hand motions if you really want to get into the RP for, like, this being your wall of force. I guess it would be more like that. Your color spray, dimension door, fireball, just based off the hand signals that we see there. It looks like you can actually download the rules for free. Okay, Dungeon Chess. This is another board game. Virtual reality developer, or maybe this is a... Oh no, is this a virtual reality chess? Like an old school... Yeah, it is. Okay. Virtual reality developer Experiment 7 and Dungeons & Dragons announced their partnership to bring games to VR. Dungeon Chess, a D&D themed animated chess game, is the first title developed by Experiment 7 in partnership and will release on Oculus Rift and Samsung Gear VR later this year. Dungeon Chess players move fire-breathing dragon queens, death-ray blasting beholders, rooks, and other popular D&D characters across the board just engage in classic chess matches. So, it looks like this is just, sorry, virtual reality chess, whereas it looks like drow are some pawns. It's like gold dragon, is that queen? MindFlayer bishops. You can see the black and white versions of both of these for your chess game. And then I think the next one we'll see was the beholder, was the rook. So, let's click this. Let's scroll down. I think, did I just miss that? Maybe. Maybe. Oh, there's a new Neverwinter, and I also missed, somehow I missed this. We're gonna pull that open. Alright, so, the Cloaked Ascendancy, which is the newest expansion to Neverwinter, just went live on Neverwinter PC, so let's go ahead and check out this video. didn't exactly get a feel for what the what the enemy was, and what the whole. I didn't feel like that gave me a lot of background. I'm sure I could look it up, but we had Thomas Foss on Dragontalk. Well, there you go. I guess if you were curious about Dragontalk, this one's going to be talking about Neverwinter: The Cloaked Ascendancy. So that and open up the video. Weird. Remember I was just talking about how nice and easy it was to click on and read all that stuff? Well, now I don't feel like I'm getting to where I wanted to go, so I can actually read the article. Well, that's sort of annoying. Maybe we can get into it over here. Here we go. So, from Cryptic Studios, Thomas Foss rejoins the podcast to discuss the next module. And again, here we got a little bit more information on the hosts as well as Thomas Foss. So, and lastly, something kind of fun that I wanted to include here was coming from the folks over at Wizkids is this pretty cool, I think, MindFlayer Trophy that you can kind of order here and get put up on, you want to pick this up and put this on your wall. I don't believe it has a price listed yet. It's 14 to 16 pounds, so it's pretty heavy. And here you can kind of see for size comparison, and it is due to come out on in May, so 3 months from now. But yeah, anyway guys, that's pretty much it. Up top here is Out of the Abyss. This is our playthrough of that. We do live every Tuesday night. We just hit episode 10 on that, and we really started making some headway at all the quests we have to do in Blingdenstone. Right in the middle here is Horde of the Dragon Queen number 6. The ladies made their way back to the raider camp after having gotten the information that they needed and took their way, started making their way into the dragon hatchery. Things are not going so well by the looks of things, so we'll have to see if they manage to make it out. If you want to catch up, you can check that out here. That's every other Monday. And down on the bottom, sorry, is our Curse of Strahd playthrough, where the last episode that was released, the party shows down with Strahd at level 3. If you're curious to see how that plays out, go ahead and check that out. I'm in the process of catching up and re-editing all of the old videos, so there'll be more of that coming out soon. Anyway, guys, if you like any of this or my voice or any of the stuff that I talked about, you can click subscribe right below here to keep up to date and make sure you're kind of, staying up to speed with what's coming out on the channel. We keep trying to have new videos almost every day, but, sometimes real world gets in the way, but I do my best to try to put out as many new videos as I can. So, hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you next time.